The terminal at Guarulhos Airport was filled with the rush of travelers dragging suitcases, running to their gates, and hurrying to avoid missing their flights. Amid the chaos, Alex Poatan sat quietly, trying to go unnoticed. The UFC champion wore a black hoodie and a cap partially covering his face, maintaining the posture of someone accustomed to facing crowds. But at that moment, he just wanted peace. He was on his way to Manaus, where he was participating in a charity event in support of indigenous communities. However, the flight had been delayed for over 2 hours. Poatan, known for his calm and focused demeanor, distracted himself by scrolling through his phone and watching the people coming and going. It was then that he noticed something that made his body go on high alert. On the other side of the terminal, an elderly black woman sat alone. She wore a simple coat and was knitting something with vibrant yarn. Her gestures were serene, almost contrasting with the tumult around her. There was something about her that made him stop and observe, as if her tranquility amidst the chaos conveyed something deeper about strength and resilience. But the peace didn't last long. A group of 3 travelers, all well-dressed, moved in, laughing and whispering among themselves. Their voices started low, but quickly gained volume. One of the men pointed at the elderly woman and said, "Seriously, what is this woman doing here? This is no place for her." The woman in the group laughed, crossing her arms. "She must be lost. Someone take her to a nursing home, please." The elderly woman continued knitting, but Alex noticed the moment her hands became still. The tension in her shoulders spoke volumes. She had heard, and so had he. Before the laughter could continue, Alex was already on his feet, crossing the terminal like thunder. His tall and intimidating presence caught the attention of a few people. When he got close, his voice, as firm as a rock, cut through the air. "Enough." The group turned, surprised. "And who are you?" one of the men asked, his tone demanding. Alex moved closer, his nearly 2-meter height making it clear he was not joking. "I'm someone who isn't going to stay quiet while you disrespect an elderly woman." The woman in the group rolled her eyes. "We weren't talking to you. Why don't you mind your own business?" Alex stepped forward, now closer to the group, and his voice dropped like a sure blow. "When I see something wrong, it's my obligation to care, and what you're doing is shameful." The laughter ceased. Some people around began to take notice of the scene. It was at that moment that a suggestion echoed. "Is that Alex Poatan?" The atmosphere changed instantly. More people stopped to look, some pulling out their phones to record. A man from the group frowned, realizing the growing attention. "Oh, now we have an MMA champion wanting to play judge." Poatan ignored the comment and turned to the elderly woman. "Are you okay, ma'am?" She shielded her eyes, revealing a calm expression, but with a weariness that spoke more than words. "I'm fine, son. I've been through worse." "You shouldn't have to go through this," he replied, his voice filled with emotion. The man in the group tried again, now visibly uncomfortable. "Look, this isn't your business. We were just joking." Alex crossed his arms, his stance firm and immovable, as if he were in the octagon. Respect is never a joke, and if you can't understand that, the problem is bigger than I thought. An unexpected twist occurred when a crowd around them began to voice their support. "He's right," said a nearby woman, holding her phone. "This isn't a joke." Others began to murmur words of encouragement, and the trio, now clearly embarrassed, started to back away. "Let's go," one of the women said, grabbing her bag and pulling the others along. As they walked away, Alex sat down next to the elderly woman. "What is your name, ma'am?" he asked, with a calm smile. "My name is Dona Lúcia," she replied, her voice choked but strong. Alex looked at her, amazed. "Dona Lúcia, you are stronger than you think." The two talked for long minutes, She shared stories of her life, the challenges she faced, and the victories she achieved. Alex listened to every word, as if learning from a life master. When the flight was finally called, Alex helped her with her belongings and took a photo with her, which would later be posted on his social media. Today, I met Dona Lúcia, a woman who carries stories of strength and courage, facing the worst of humanity with dignity. May we learn from people like her. The post went viral within hours, generating a wave of inspiration. At the charity event in Manaus, Alex dedicated his speech to her. Dona Lúcia reminded me today that the fight for justice is not just in the octagon, it's in life. The audience applauded, and Alex left the stage with the certainty that, even outside the fights, his mission was much greater. After the viral post, Alex Poatan discovered that his interaction with Dona Lúcia would remain only in the memory of social media. But days later, he received an unexpected call from a reporter from a major newspaper. Alex, did you know that Dona Lúcia was a community leader who fought for the demarcation of indigenous lands decades ago? Alex's heart raced. He knew that this woman was special, but he had no idea she had such a remarkable past. I had no idea, he replied. Tell me more. The journalist explained that in the 1970s, Dona Lúcia had led protests and faced threats to protect an indigenous village in Rondônia. However, the government at the time did not acknowledge her efforts, and her story was erased from official records. Alex hung up the phone with renewed determination. He would not let this story die. He decided to use his influence to give a voice to Dona Lúcia. An unexpected meeting with the help of his team, Alex arranged a meeting with indigenous leaders and human rights activists. He invited Dona Lúcia, who arrived wearing the same simple coat and a smile that radiated strength. When she entered the room, silence fell completely. Everyone knew they were in the presence of someone who carried decades of struggle. She told her story with details that sent chills down the spines of even the most experienced people in the room. We fight with our hearts, but we were ignored. Now, seeing you all here gives me hope. Alex, moved, took the microphone. Dona Lúcia, your fight is not over, and now we are all with you. The final challenge. A few days later, Alex received shocking news. A large construction company was attempting to destroy a protected area, the same one that Dona Lúcia had defended in the past. Without wasting time, he called a press conference where, alongside her, he announced that he would fight against the project. Support was immediate, but the struggle was tough. Powerful companies did not appreciate the interference of a UFC champion in their business. Anonymous messages threatening Alex began to arrive. "Go back to the octagon where you belong," one of them said, but he did not back down. "My place is where justice needs strength," he responded publicly. The final turnaround. On the day of a crucial hearing, Alex and Dona Lúcia were present, accompanied by hundreds of supporters. As the construction company's lawyer tried to explain the project, Dona Lúcia asked to speak. "For decades, I have fought for this land. They are more than trees and rivers. They are lives, stories, and roots. If that is not enough for you, then I don't know what humanity is." The courtroom fell silent for a few moments. Then the judge announced, "The construction project is suspended indefinitely." The room erupted in applause. Alex embraced Dona Lúcia, and a solitary tear ran down her face. "You were amazing," he said. She smiled. "You too, my child." The future. That night, Alex posted another photo with Dona Lúcia, this time smiling in front of a protected area. The caption read, "Today we won more than just a battle. We won for the future. Thank you, Dona Lúcia, for teaching me that fighting outside the octagon is just as important as fighting inside it." Dona Lucia's story became a symbol of resistance, and Alex earned a new nickname among fans, the fighter for justice. More than ever, he knew that his mission was just beginning.